Watercolor painting by Winslow Homer. He was born in 1836, almost 180 years ago, or it was 180 years ago, and he painted in watercolor. We're going to be painting in watercolor today too. You can see the soft subtleties of his watercolor paintings. They're not going to have bright, bold colors, but they're going to be beautifully subtle colors. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw an apple, because we're going to be using the same subject matter, which is our apple, which is a still life, and we're going to be drawing it. So let me go ahead and start doing that. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to kind of rush it here so that for the sake of the video, I want to go fast, but you can go a little bit slower. I see that there's a stem coming out. See that here it's kind of coming in around the back. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop there. I don't want to put too many lines down because we're going to be painting this with watercolor. Now watercolor is a paint that stays dry, but as soon as you put water to it, it becomes soft, wet paint again. I'm going to be starting with my lightest colors, like the yellows. Now, I want to make sure to go around my white highlights. So I'm going to go ahead and put my white highlights in there. And that's probably too strong of a color, so I'm going to get a little bit watered down there. And I'm coloring around my white highlights right now. The technique we're using right now is called wet on dry, because our paper is dry but our paints are wet. Okay, I can see that this, okay, so those are going to be my highlights. I see a couple more right here. One right here. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and start putting in everywhere else that I have my yellow, which is right here. I have a strong yellow, and right here. Okay, now let's start with our reds. I'm going to be testing my colors on a separate piece of paper, and you can do the same. I'm going to start soft, and then I'm going to build to more color. Notice that I'm not putting down any dry paint. There should be no dry paint going down. It should be a very soft, wet color. Still, I'm going to be going around my highlights here. I want to paint in the direction that my apple has its streaks. So I see that the streaks go like this. I want to paint in that same direction. I see that this is a little bit darker, and I'll show you how to make that darker here in a little bit. We're going to be making more of a maroon color to make our dark reds in here. But I'm going to start off with just a nice soft red. Each time I'm building up. So I'm starting soft and I'm building colors up. Now I'm going to really try to focus on where it's getting darker, because some of these parts are going to stay the same redness. But I see right here that it gets quite a bit more dark. So I'm going to go ahead and start building those in. Now to make it darker, I'm going to add a little bit of blue to my red to make it a purplish color. that's where I'm going to put my darkest colors. Which on my apple is over here on this side. For the shadow, I'm going to add a little bit of black to it. Okay, and I'm going to paint my stem and I'll be done. You may paint yours the same way. Be careful not to get paint on where it doesn't belong. And I'll have this example laying out for you to look at.